We are 3 weeks into the MLB season. We're starting to see some records stabilize a little bit, and there are definitely some teams that we are quite worried about for the rest of the 2026 season. We're going to go over all those teams, but before we do, make sure you are subscribed to us, The Windup, over on YouTube. If you're watching us, if you're listening to us, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you find your podcast, drop us a rating, drop us a review, download, and subscribe. I think we have to start off, James, with the New York Mets. But first, I want to give a quick shout to today's sponsor, SeatGeek. SeatGeek is the #1 rated ticketing app, and with the baseball season underway, the World Cup coming up, NBA playoffs happening, you need tickets. That's why you use our code WINDUP10 for 10% off your next order on SeatGeek, whether you're a first-time buyer or not. Click the link in the description, download the app. And like I said, maybe baseball isn't your thing. You've got the NBA playoffs, you've got the World Cup, there's even tickets to comedy shows and festivals if you want to see those. And what I love the most about SeatGeek is their SeatGeek score. That's where they take tickets and rate them on a scale of 1 to 10 to let you know if you're getting a good deal or not. So when searching for tickets, if you see a score closer to 10 or a green dot on the map, that means it's a great deal. You should be buying those tickets. When you see tickets with a score closer to 1 with a red or orange dot, that means not the best deal. You can avoid those. You don't need them. So again, we got the hookup for you guys. Use our code WINDUP10 for 10% off your next purchase on SeatGeek, whether you're a first-time buyer or not. Click the link in the description, download the SeatGeek app, and type in our code WINDUP10 to get that 10% discount. Thank you to SeatGeek for sponsoring today's video. Let's get back to it.
Yeah, very fair. Mets bias channel right here, but you have to be crazy not to be worried about the Mets. They've lost 11 games in a row. They're terrible.
Yeah, it's pretty difficult to not be hitting like the panic, the worry button right now with the New York Mets. The offense is about as bad as it could be. The pitching has been a little sketchy at times. The guys who are supposed to be good have been good. Kodai Senga, David Peterson have been about as bad as you can be as starting pitchers. Devin Williams blowing game out of the pen when he does get into the game. But the biggest problem right now is that this team's not hitting, and we also might not have the same manager that we have right now a couple weeks from now.
And again, that remains to be seen here or there, but the biggest issue, I think, is still the fact that the guys who right now without Juan Soto, supposed to be the two best players in the lineup, Bo Bichette and Francisco Lindor, on a day-by-day basis are complete zeros. And when you're missing who is your best player in Juan Soto, there's no one else really to pick up that slack right now. When both of those guys suck as badly as they do, and we've watched this for a week and a half, almost 2 consecutive weeks, the Mets can't win a game.
No, literally haven't won a game in almost 2 weeks worth of games, almost 2 weeks in terms of calendar days, which is insane. The fact that Jorge Polanco's hurt too, not helping out this team. Wasn't hitting either. Guys that were hitting have started to get a little bit cold. Like Luis Robert's gotten into a little bit of a mini slump right now. It feels like everybody on this team is pressing. This lineup so desperately needs Juan Soto back. It's crazy, man. Breaking news, Juan Soto makes the New York Mets offense a lot better. But we also have seen good teams do this before. There was a chunk of last year where the Dodgers played poor baseball in the month of July. Max Muncy wasn't there. I believe Max Muncy wasn't there. There was some injury to someone in their lineup. I think it might have been Muncy. Teams go up and down, but I would be lying to you if I said I'm not worried about the Mets. I'm definitely not the same level as some of the other people that you might see on the internet, but this is a worrying sign that has now gone over a season and a half here.
So this is funny. I'm going to pull up some of the Major League schedule from last year on this day, recording this on Monday, April 20th, just to have some fun with this.
Yeah, sure.
The Mets were 15-7, exact opposite record they are right now.
That's crazy.
Which is really funny. The Brewers were only 12-10. The Blue Jays were also 12-10, weirdly enough. This was even before the Blue Jays' actual skid. The Orioles were still only 9-12. The Tigers were 13-9. The Guards were actually 12-9, not that bad. Well, that's funny. The Rangers were 13-9. So yeah, it's not.
Well, who stunk? What about the bad teams?
The Rockies 4-17. The Pirates 8-15. Again, it's almost too early to even tell. The Braves were 8-13. Those teams wound up all actually full-blown stinking, but it's funny to look at even some of the teams who were at the top last year and how they wound up. Not even the Giants were 14-8.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes the early season standings are not indicative of where you'll end. Shout out the Mets. Hopefully they do that again this year.
Yeah, but it's almost like you're at a spot where the numbers are so far against you for the Mets, where if you keep losing games, it's kind of really difficult to dig yourself out of this deep of a hole.
Definitely is. Do we want to talk about the other team in that division who's playing just as bad baseball?
Might as well. Why not?
Philadelphia Phillies. I think this is another one where I would be a little bit worried, similarly to the Mets, where they're having a lot of the same issues, except the differences that Kyle Schwarber and Bryce Harper are hitting. Everybody else in that lineup is not. They're also getting really, really bad pitching almost every single night out of their starters right now.
Which is funny because Christopher Sanchez, I think, is still pitching great. Andrew Painter's pitched himself to decent results despite having a fastball is going to get annihilated once the weather gets warm.
Well, what was funny is watching him pitch against the Braves last night. Like, the fastball, I think, has a little more life than it was at the beginning of the year, but he simply doesn't have an out pitch right now. He has a very, very difficult time finishing batters when he's even or even behind in the count, like at times. He can't get ahead of those guys. There's not a real big swing and miss pitch right now for Painter.
I think that's because hitters are comfortable enough sitting breaking ball against him, and they know they can react to that fastball and at least foul off, because that fastball simply can't miss a bat. And also Luzardo, wow.
Whew, James, big one for you.
Big one for me. Big one for me. But he looks, I mean, again, he just does this all the time. This is what happens when we have 3 weeks worth of sample on these players, where Luzardo did this last July. All it did at the time was put his ERA from 1 to 4. Now it's just put it from 3 to 7 or 8, wherever it is right now. But it's also funny, too, how the Mets and the Phillies have wound up in this very similar spot with incredibly different strategies. Where the Mets were like, you know what, we have to get rid of all of our players, get all new ones, all stink. The Phillies are like, no, we're keeping all the same guys, they stink. So it just goes to show you sometimes that you need I don't know, sometimes maybe you need different voices in the room. Maybe the changes being wholesaler isn't good enough. Maybe it's more about tweaks and full-blown changes. And both of these teams finding a middle ground maybe would have been nice, but wow, these teams look horrific. And Yohan Duran just goes in the IL with an oblique. The count came out of nowhere. That bullpen's still great, but will be
but has been struggling so far, the bullpen.
Struggling, yeah. I guess it is still struggling. But, yeah, Kerkering's not really missing bats. You wonder what's going on in his head still. But they look terrible, and their fans are rebelling. The Mets haven't been home in a week, so we don't know how bad the Mets fans are going to be this week. But Philly, I've never seen Citizens Bank Park. Ken Rosenthal talked about this on Monday. I've never seen Citizens Bank Park that cleared out in like an 8th inning before.
It was dead watching Sunday Night Baseball. There was absolutely nobody there. I think very similarly, but for different reasons, both the Mets and Phillies right now have reasons to worry. And if you're a fan of these teams, there are legitimate reasons to worry, which is also funny because I was watching MLB Network as I do when I'm back in New Jersey at my parents' house. If you heard how they talked about the Mets and how they talked about the Phillies, you would think that the Mets haven't won a game this year, and you would think that the Phillies are still in first place. It's crazy the different vibe that people have with this Phillies team, despite having, again, similar issues to the Mets. Nobody's hitting besides 2 guys.
No, yeah. I mean, the Mets, nobody's hitting, so.
True.
I mean, I guess, yeah, Robert, I guess, still in Alvarez. But these are still 2 teams I think are going to claw their way out of this respectively. Like,
sure.
Unless there's serious injuries on either side that are worse than there currently are for either side, I'm not sure if either of them fully bottoms out. But I do think now what's going to happen is a lot of hard work to get to 500, missing the playoffs by 3 games because of your horrible April.
Yes, and both of these teams have major superstars coming back. Juan Soto for the Mets, Zach Wheeler eventually for the Phillies.
But the other difference with that is, while Juan Soto seems like he'll just kind of walk back into the lineup and be okay. He's been out 2 weeks, and he get the worst 2 weeks that we've seen the Mets in, I guess, since last year.
Since 2004.
Zach Wheeler's getting lit up by AAAers right now. His fastball's down. Yeah, George Lombard. Fastball's down between 92 and 93 miles per hour, and it's not getting swings and misses the same way it's gotten his whole career. He's trying to learn how to pitch backwards. It's not the way Zach Wheeler's ever been. So there's another huge question right now that the Phillies are going to have to answer very soon. But even just having one more win than the Mets, it makes me look at their record and feel like it's a lot better.
It does feel like it's a lot better, but I mean, they both suck right now.
Oh, both horrible.
This would be a fun fight right now if they actually got to play each other
3
before
games.
June.
Yeah, but both these teams are probably 500 when they actually play each other. The June 21st is when the first time the Mets and Phillies play all season, which is so stupid.
Which, again, if you guys ever want to hear James rant about the schedule, maybe we can make that a members-only post for you guys. But yeah. I'll let James get 15 minutes on the schedule if he likes that.
I hate the schedule so much. But I want to talk about a team that I think does have bottom-out potential right now.
Are we East Coast, West Coast?
So, it's West Division, Central team.
Oh, is the Houston Astros?
Houston Astros.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of made this declaration a little bit earlier than I think people expected, and I was even a little bit earlier than you on this one, where I was like, I think this Astros team stinks, and they do. They stink. They're going to score a ton of runs. The bats are not dead by any means. Yordan Alvarez is having like the best start to his career ever for a season. I think he has 10 home runs through the first 20 games, but they struggle to find a way to get 27 outs every single night. They struggle to find a way to get 15 outs. The pitching is maybe the worst in baseball right now statistically.
It's the worst by far. Do you know what the Astros team ERA is this season?
I mean, they're giving up, I think they have like around 140 or 150 runs scored against them this year. So I'm going to say it's close to 7.
6.1. And the next worst are the Nationals at 5.6. And then the third worst is the Phillies at 4.8.
Whoa.
And then the Chicago White Sox at 4.83.
Yikes. Yeah, I mean, like this is something that we talked about with the Astros going into the season, and even though you were higher than me on them, you were still a little bit cautious, and it was because of the pitching.
I told you I love the lineup.
Yeah, you loved the lineup. I was a little more down on them, but you were right about that. The pitching is worse than probably we even could have expected.
I think it's worse than anybody could have ever imagined. That's why I still have relative faith in the Mets and the Phillies because, one, the Mets not hitting, I think they're just going to hit. Hitting
At
is
some
contagious.
point they will, yeah.
And the Mets pitching right now is middle of the pack, and it's really not that bad. Well, again, they have like the worst offense in baseball at this moment, which is shocking. And again, the Phillies pitching has been bad, but with Wheeler coming back, I think he'll find some success. And Luzardo leveling out. Like, they'll be a fine pitching team, no doubt.
What's funny is I think that the Phillies hitting might stagnate a little bit where it is. Like, Trey Turner's going to get hot. He'll be the guy that bounces back. The rest of the dudes on that roster I don't really have faith in. Their pitching is going to bounce back for sure. Where the Mets, I have more faith in the hitting bouncing back and the pitching staying exactly as it is.
But with the Astros, I don't see any future for this pitching at all.
And if they ever get cold for a week, they're gonna not even have a chance to win games. Like, they're on a 4-game losing streak right now. They've gone 2-8 in their last 10 games, and they're hitting.
This the other thing crazy about the Astros, the highest team walk rate for a pitching staff in the league. They're walking over 13% of the hitters they face.
That's bad.
Something else funny, weird statistical anomaly. Astros, Athletics, Angels, 3 highest pitching walk rates in the league. All in the same division.
AL West.
Yeah, right. Some about them not throwing strikes out there. But this is we also said it heading in. The Astros whole season relied on absolutely needing both Yordan Alvarez and Hunter Brown to be 100% the whole way through. And they lost Hunter Brown 1 week into the season.
Yeah.
And then with all the strange Tatsuya Imai stuff that's happened with Mike Burrows, not pitching horribly, but having really bad results and having, I don't know if you saw statistically, I think he's the lowest OAA behind him. It's like
yeah, he
-6.
does. And then I also saw the Orioles have 4 pitchers in the top 20 with the lowest OAA behind them.
Which is fine. I mean, maybe we'll get to the Orioles in this video, but this Astros team, especially now that all the bad news continuing about Josh Hader, like, does he even pitch this year?
Doesn't feel like it. It sure doesn't. And I kind of joked about that with you in the offseason. I'm like, is he going to throw a pitch? It just feels like the way that you went through the breakdown of his setbacks and how he was trying to get back to him, like, this has all the feelings of something that we've seen in the Mets world where it's like, I don't think he's going to throw a pitch this year.
And then on top of that, Brian Abreu completely falling apart.
Doesn't know how to be a closer. It's insane.
And then where else are you getting production again from this rotation right now? Like the Astros have been so good at pulling rabbits out of their hats for years and years and years. This rotation, like watching Christian Javier pitch at the beginning of the season was like legitimately sad.
Yeah.
Like Lance McCullers too. Like the first few starts were really nice, and the last few have been not so nice again. Like Peter Lambert got 20 whiffs the other night. I don't even know how he did that.
Not sure.
He got cut twice in the last year by the Astros. Like I think Ryan Weiss and Eric Getty have good stuff, but it remains to be seen how consistent and successful the guys could be at the major league level. And I just named all 5 guys.
And did you mention Tatsuya Imai being a complete disaster?
I said the weird stuff with Imai. He's another guy who, like, I almost think you can't really count on him the rest of the year.
No, similarly to the Mets of Kodai Senga.
Yeah. Especially
bad year for the Japanese pitchers coming over.
Good year for Munetaka Murakami. But
yeah, I'm not worried about him.
What was I going to say about that? Tatsuya Imai. Just that note from Chandler Rome that he's already been through 3 interpreters is bizarre. And that also seems like it's a little bit on the team as well. Like, this is the first player the Astros have ever signed directly out of the MPB. So, again, it's everybody's fault here, but like there's clearly something not very good happening with him, and they can't even slug their way to wins.
No, I mean that's how bad the pitching is. They got to score 10 runs a game to win a game. And
it feels like they're getting a monster breakout from Cam Smith. They're getting a huge bounce back from Christian Walker. Like, I mean, Jeremy Pena keeps going on the injured list. That's really hurting their defense. But still, it's like this is a lineup that's still very much built to be a playoff lineup. And they have the worst pitching in baseball. It's worse than the Nationals, worse than the Rockies. Like, it's deplorable.
Yeah, I don't see them as a team that's going to be doing anything, getting any better anytime soon.
That's why I think they have true bottom-out potential. Like, this Astros team could win, like, 50 games. Not 50, 70 games.
Yeah. I also think your Royals might be in that conversation too, James.
You think? Why is that? They look pretty bad.
Their offense is still the worst.
It's horrible.
And they're kind of now getting the reverse pitching stuff that we hinted at a little bit, where it was like they've kind of been going by the skin of their teeth the last few years, where like Michael Wacha shouldn't have this ERA. Noah Cameron shouldn't have this ERA. Like all these pitchers that Seth Lugo's actually pitching well, go figure. The one guy that we kind of doubted that would be able to pitch well. Cole Reagans has been horrible. So that's where like you could see some, positive regression, but also at the same time, like Bobby Witt Jr. is good. Maikel Garcia Jr. is good. Maikel Garcia is good. His cousin, Ronald Acuna Jr.
There you go.
Vinny Pasquantino looks horrible.
Vinny Pasquantino looks like there should actually be some alarm bells going off. Like Vinny Pasquantino right now has he's given up a lot of bat speed when he still had good bat speed to begin with, but I'm not sure. It's the kind of thing where I'm starting to doubt the coaches on the Royals, where it's like, why?
Did you see the weird Salvi stuff too?
Yeah, but they said it's under the bridge. I mean, also, I don't know. Like, that might have been him with a little bit of an ego. Like, he had been playing horribly.
Yeah, he is playing horribly. Jack Hagg's been crazy inconsistent. The entire roster right now is kind of in flux, besides like the main guys on the offense, again, being Bobby Witt Jr. and Michael Garcia. I don't know if I see a world right now for the Royals where they claw out of it, except for the fact that they're in the American League Central, so that always is the great equalizer.
Yeah.
But the Tigers are starting to play good baseball like we expected them to, and I feel like they're getting to a point where, as crazy as it sounds, like by the end of June, I feel like the Tigers might be running away with this division.
Possibly. The Guards, I don't think, are going anywhere either. They're getting a lot, again, like them just getting that lineup.
Devil magic.
Keep telling me again, the lineup is taking a step forward. They're at least like a solid, consistent-ish baseball team right now. But the Royals, it just seems like a team that it kind of feels a little bit like to the Mets light, where it was like, maybe you did throw this together a little hastily.
A little bit. A little oversight for sure, possibly in the Royals roster construction. I'll take one of my teams now that I was big on, that I am worried about. Boston Red Sox.
I'd be horrified by the Red Sox.
Bad, like that team, bad vibes, bad play.
Bad energy.
Garrett Crochet does not look good. I don't know what's going on with him. He looks horrible. Sonny Gray just got hurt. All of a sudden now, like all the pitching depth that you've talked about, you're like starting to feel a little bit.
You gotta use it.
Yeah, feeling a little bit uncomfortable with the Red Sox. This is why you have all that pitching depth, but they're getting basically nothing out of almost anybody offensively.
So Crochet's done a thing now where he's lowered his arm slot again. He did so last year because Crochet was so over the top when he first came up, and I think that could be why he got hurt so much. And then for like 4 straight years, he's gone lower and lower and lower, and this year is the lowest it's ever been. And he's lost a lot of the movement on these 2 main pitches. He threw the right-handed pitchers, be it the cutter and the 4-seam fastball, where now I got my notes on from my last YouTube video here, but the cutter's basically cutting less. And he used to like to use that pitch to kind of get in on the righties, but also sometimes just nail the edge with it.
Yeah.
And just the fact that pitch is moving less, he's not as good at being able to kind of like, 1, sneak up on the hitters on the outside, and 2, bear down on them when he was able to throw it inside to them.
And you can also tell that the movement's affecting him too, because his command looks bad because he's just throwing everything down the middle. And it's like, I almost feel like he expects it to move more. And that's just where the pitch goes now because of the lack of movement.
Yeah, again, it's less cut. And also the similar thing, the fastball is moving an inch more back to his arm side on average. So that's also coming in less to bear down on the inside of right-handed batters. It's not really good. That was kind of how he would be so good and get the right-handed hitters at, was kind of basically mix those 2 pitches together and have them kind of just like flaying off each other. And now it feels like, I don't know, it's almost like, was it always this fragile? Like, could you lose an inch of movement in each of these pitches in either direction? Now all of a sudden, and he lost some velocity on that cutter too. But that started against the Twins. Ryan Kreidler was hitting the ball like it was on a tee off of Garrett Crochet. It was just like, holy shit. Like, Josh Bell was like...
Kreidler catching strays.
Ryan Kreidler hit one to the moon. There were 2 upper deck home runs on a cold day in Target Field off Garrett Crochet from Twins right-handed batters. So I was like, how is this happening?
Yeah, the Red Sox feel like they're in a little bit of a free fall. I know they took a couple games, or they took a game from the Tigers today, I believe.
I think they wound up splitting the 4.
Yeah, splitting the 4, but it's a roster right now that feels a little bit clunky. Something that you were warning them about early on this season when I was feeling high was I thought that the clunkiness was almost a positive. Like, okay, mix and match, play these guys.
No,
they're all cold. They're all playing some of the worst defense in baseball. Like, it's a rough roster right now.
It's also a similar thing that's happening to the Mets, where it feels like everybody's trying to get the team out of the slump with everything they do. Like when someone like Bo Bichette is swinging for the fences instead of just trying to poke a single the other way. Like Roman Anthony's diving for line drives in left field.
Yeah.
He finally got the arm going, though. He finally made a good throw to the home plate the other day.
He's also a guy who is going to completely come out of it because all his underlying stuff still says he's one of the elite hitters in baseball.
As a hitter, there's no doubt whatsoever Roman Anthony. But they're also doing the thing where him and Jarren Duran are kind of splitting a platoon role right now. Wilyer Abreu's playing one of those guys has to sit. Willier's playing every single day.
Masataka Yoshida, that's it.
Yoshida's one of the few guys that's hitting.
Yeah, ish.
I guess though it's better than these guys. Jarren Duran looks horrible. Like
Jarren Duran looks bad.
He looks terrible. And also right now, like Alex Cora is trying to do this like old school thing where he's trying to hit like bad guys second. So like
I know another manager is doing something like that.
Yeah, but the full first week of the season, Trevor Story's hitting second. He can't touch the ball. And then we had Caleb Durbin for a week. He can't touch the ball. And now the last couple games, Andrew Monasterio. It's like just
It's like, what are we doing?
just hit the best players high. Like you have a lot of good hitters here. I know he wants to put a righty there, and that's kind of the things. He doesn't want to put Wilson Contreras there, but just put Wilson Contreras there. Literally, who cares at this point? Okay, Contreras on Monday, he hit there. Nice. That's a good
What do you know? They scored 9 runs.
Yeah, he only got one hit, and he didn't score or drive one in. Roman walked 3 times. My boy Massa, 2 more hits. But this team is they're in a funk right now, and I just don't know if they can hit their way out of it. Like similar to we're talking about the Mets and the Phillies. We're like, all right, this thing will get better. This thing might stay the same. This Red Sox lineup, I don't know how good this Red Sox lineup could be
Right now, yeah. I'm not sure either.
with the players they have on the roster and the way they're deploying them at this given moment. Like I don't know what the ceiling is for this Red Sox lineup. Even Rafael is like actually hitting.
Yeah.
But they're still just stuck. I mean, also the fact, like, all right, Sonny Gray goes out, Peyton Tolley can come up. Like, this team's going to be able to hang around, just see if they can get hot this summer. But it's weird vibe on that squad.
A little bit of the Mets American League right now. That's kind of what it feels like to me.
Kind of I think this division warrants a lot of conversations. Because I think the Orioles and the Blue Jays, especially their I think Blue Jays fans are giving their team a huge break. 1, because of what happened last year, and 2, because of the injuries. But
yes,
they're another team where, like, it's getting late early.
It feels like that, but also at the same time, I think I trust that their bats are going to heat up a little bit more. Where I'm worried is their pitching, which was also our worry last year.
That was the worry, yeah.
And Dylan Cease is great. Kevin Gausman's great. Again, not worried about those guys. It's basically every other pitcher on this roster I have a question mark about. And I think last year we saw maybe some really good outcomes from guys that we didn't expect. But like now you see Eric Lauer's just getting absolutely teed off on. Max Scherzer's got nothing left in the tank. And
Lauer's also talking in the media about he doesn't want an opener in front of him. And
yeah,
like that's uncomfortable for him.
We're going on now of like a bunch of guys that probably should. Almost like the Step Brothers meme again, where it's like, the tuxedos are a little fucked up now that like you wore these to the interview. Now looking at this rotation in this bullpen, you're like, man, like some of these guys, like they pitched well. You probably should have just shook hands and moved on.
They're also going through something the Mets are going through right now, where it's like, oh yeah, you guys actually don't have a lot of power in this lineup. I know it's a big thing that is hurting them right now, not having Springer, not having Barger, but
Anthony Santander technically
Anthony Santander as well. But this is a team right now that has, on the season, heading in play on Monday, the second lowest barrel rate in baseball. The only team with a lower barrel rate is the Tampa Bay Rays. And that's something that last year, this team, everything that was made about the Blue Jays two-strike approach and the contact, this team slugged their way to the World Series. That's how they got there. That was the truth. And right now, they're not doing that. And when they've had pitching injuries, and the pitching depth is always going to be questioned. Another guy you're probably not going to see this year, Shane Bieber.
No, he's done.
I don't think there's any chance. You got Patrick Corbin pitching every 5th day right now. Like, Savage, I think, is back this week, which would be a huge deal for them. But even still, like, Bieber, he's not coming back. Barrios, I don't think he's coming back.
Do you want him back even?
Yeah, like Cody Ponce, he's not coming back either.
No.
So it's like you Savage comes in and then you bump Lauer or Corbin. The other guy's in your 5 all season. Like, you probably will have one of the best top 3s, at least in the American League. But how else you get out of this? And on top of everything else, Jeff Hoffman still keeps blowing saves.
Horrible. He's horrendous. They got to put Louis Varland in that role. Let him take over.
But I don't think they want to, because I think they like to use Varland as their weapon. But Hoffman's like striking out. He's striking out 40% of the hitters and still giving up a home run every like 5 at bats. Where it's like, come on, man, please. But I'm
less worried about them than the Red Sox though, because they do have so many injuries. And when those guys, especially on the offensive side, come back, I do think that we're going to see a little bit more of that offense going.
Yeah, I think kind of, but also like Barger and. I think when's Kirk is like 2 months stuff.
I think he's a little bit long.
So that's kind of a big one for them. Like
I guess that's where it could be getting late early.
And otherwise, like Varsho hasn't hit, at least how I expect him to hit heading into the season. But he's still been a fine player. Like Vladdy's doing great. Kazuma looks kind of overmatched.
He has his mega peak. Like he's such a peak and valley player, which is kind of funny because we thought that wasn't going to be the case with him. He thought it was going to be like steady Eddie.
And Andres Jimenez is hitting. Jesus Sanchez is hitting. Eloy Jimenez is in the lineup every day. Like Ernie Clement is back to regular Ernie Clement, not superstar hero Ernie Clement. But I think this is just more like a team that was built to kind of be a 500 team.
And you also mentioned the Orioles, who I guess you're a little worried, but I was not as high on the Orioles coming into this season as you. So I am not worried. I think that this is kind of just like, through 22 games or 2 games below 500. I could have seen them being 2 games above 500 as well. It's one of those where They play horrible defense. Again, I mentioned that their starting pitchers, 4 of them, are in the top 20 for worst OAA defense behind them, which is kind of startling. And it's not been Pete Alonso's fault. He's actually plus OAA right now. So shout out Pete for doing that. But at the same time, it's like the offense is good, but not good enough for what the pitching is at. The offense is good enough for what, like if you had good pitching, it would be good enough. Like if you see the amount of runs that they're scoring, you had better pitching, they would probably be those 2 games above 500. But because the pitching's not very good, because Chris Batt's going out there every 5 days and getting absolutely torpedoed, crushed.
He pitched well Friday, kind of.
Ish.
I think he went 5. I think he went 5 innings, no runs, 4 walks. But like it's about going to the season. They put a lot riding on Rogers, Bradish, Boz, and all 3 have not pitched well.
No, and Rogers the last couple starts has been shaky. He started off hot, but like it's similar to how we feel about some of the other teams that we've mentioned already, where it's like, they kind of have to play a little bit of perfect baseball right now. And that is really difficult for any team to do.
And they're also like Beavers, Basayo, Cowser, Mayo. It's like none of those homegrown guys have done anything this year. Pete has had a very bad start to the season. And Gunnar Henderson's been good, but Orioles fans want a lot more. And understandably, they want a lot more, but he hasn't been great Gunnar. He's been just back to being good Gunnar. I think that they're kind of dying for him to be a star. And again, like I think a big thing is Pete not hitting. Pete got the money to like really steady them, to not let these cold streaks happen, and he's not done that whatsoever. The funny thing about the Orioles, it's one of the best bullpens in baseball.
Oh yeah, their bullpen's been money. Go figure.
This was supposed to be the hole in this team. That's actually the only saving grace right now.
Is there any team, any other team in the American League to talk about here that we're worried about? I don't think so, right?
Like genuinely worried? Not because I think that's us saying also we're not worried about the Mariners.
No, I'm not worried about them at all.
So that's we basically we covered all the teams that are below 500 then basically.
Yeah, I think in the National League I've got 2 teams I want to talk about in terms of worry.
Okay, say one.
San Francisco Giants. I mean,
it's worry, but it's like I didn't really expect.
I didn't expect anything either. I mean, we constantly put them in their bottom, but like I am worried of just like it feels like there's going to be a mutiny that happens there at some point.
It kind of does feel like Tony Vitello might have been a big a leap.
The tweet he put out the other day that I sent to you, that was one of the most cringe-worthy tweets that I've ever seen from anybody in a professional sport. Like, this was one of those where it was very, very obvious that Tony Vitello, who I liked as a manager at University of Tennessee, I thought he was great, but it was very, very obvious based on the wording of this tweet that this guy came from the college ranks, because this is what a college coach would tweet out. It's not something that you would see, other people tweet out. Did he delete it? He deleted the tweet.
Did he really?
He deleted the tweet.
I was scrolling looking for it just now.
Whoa,
yeah, it's gone.
That
makes sense.
I mean, he should have. Basically, for context for you guys, Tony Vitello basically gave Giants fans from his Twitter a rah-rah, trust this team, we got to keep fighting, just keep fighting, you got to believe in us. That shit doesn't play at the major leagues. That barely plays in high school baseball. Like, that is so cringy. Man, deleting the tweet's crazy.
And also, like, there was the moment where Drew Gilbert called you up the other day, and like him and Tony Vitello are like fake boxing in the dugout.
Yeah, it's just weird.
And then you also had the strange comments from Chase Burns being like, "Yeah, I don't talk to Tony anymore," which is like, really, like you were like one of the best players in his team for years, successful. I don't think Burns, he didn't win the championship with them, did he?
No, he was he transferred in and out of there. So
okay,
yeah, there was times where he wasn't, because he was Wake Forest.
Wake Forest,
well.
yeah, okay. So again, it's a strange situation right now with that Giants team. Also, again, at the same time, hard to expect, but also Devers looks sluggish. Even Logan Webb does not look very good. The strikeout rate
been horrible.
The strikeout rate's kind of fallen back down, which was kind of easy to see heading in. And then the rest of that lineup is like, Adames and Chapman are actually playing reasonably well. Chapman shortened up a lot. You see the new Matt Chapman approach this year?
He's putting the ball in play a ton. He's hitting a lot of like line drive singles.
I think he was like, I'm not getting home runs here, so I'm going to stop trying to. I already got my money, so who cares?
I'll give you my team that I think is that. I'll give you a team that is in first place that I'm worried about. You want to guess?
In the National League?
Yeah.
The Braves?
No, not the Braves. Braves are going to be fine.
As the Reds?
Cincinnati Reds.
Yeah.
This roster stinks. This team, they're
banking wins.
I don't know how. I mean, it's because they're 10-0 in one-run games. Bullpen's been money. Shout out their bullpen. That's a big reason why they've been winning these games.
Big Tony.
Their starting pitching without Hunter Green is not good.
But they keep winning.
I don't know how.
And they have one of the highest barrel rates as a team in baseball.
But they also don't score any runs.
Sal Stewart, baby. This is all about Sal Stewart.
Sal Stewart is fantastic. Ellie De La Cruz is fantastic. Eugenio Suarez is going to fall into 35 home runs this year. Like, obviously. That's it. TJ Friedl keeps... Like, how do they keep winning games when TJ Friedel's leading off and he might be statistically the worst hitter in baseball this year?
He actually, by OPS of qualified players, he is his lowest OPS of all qualified players. And Matt McClain, who's hitting second, I think, is in the bottom 10.
They're doing some Guardians devil magic shit right now.
No, what they are doing is kind of what you alluded to. They have two heroes right now. Like, Ellie De La Cruz and Sal Stewart are playing hero ball. And I think that's really, really, really carrying them. And they have great bullpen. And this is a very good defensive team. It is.
Yeah.
It is. Matt McClain's a good defensive second baseman. TJ Friedl's a good defensive center fielder. I think.
Where do they rank? Do they rank high?
Let's check it right now.
Because Ellie, I mean, I love Ellie's glove. We know that all of Ellie's issues come from like his consistency of throwing. So it's one of those. The Reds are not a 14-8 team when they have a negative run differential. They've scored the same amount of runs as the Mets.
And they have the same positive fielding run value as the Mets. 2 and +2 and +2.
That's what I'm saying. Like, this is. Talk about some regression that's going to be happening. And again, not to rain on Cincinnati Reds fans' parades, because you guys are great. You don't talk any shit to us, actually, despite...
No, I think the Reds are fun. I'm way not as down on the Reds as you are, because I think they're going to get reinforcements back. Also, it's weird we haven't heard much about Nick Lodolo, but I was going to kind of angle it towards him.
Yeah, I'm like, where are the reinforcements? Who are they?
Nick Lodolo's a big reinforcement.
I'm not worried about their pitching at all. I think it's probably like league average pitching, even without Hunter Green and Lodolo. It's probably right around league average. I don't know how they score runs every single day. I literally have no clue.
See, I think their lineup will get better, honestly, as we keep moving around.
I feel like Matt McClain. Matt McClain sticks.
McClain, Friedl, Eugenio are going to wind up being tolerable. This is going to wind up being a very major league caliber top 5 of the lineup. And also,
I believe in Eugenio. I
think at some point Stewart just winds up hitting second.
Sal Stewart? I think they hit him 4th today in the game that I was watching.
He is 4th usually.
I mean, we're running out Friedl, Steer. McClain hasn't hit now for longer than he's been in the major leagues. Like, I'm giving up on the Matt McClain becoming a good hitter thing. Is that crazy?
It's not crazy, but it's reasonable at this point.
Tyler Stevenson can't hit. Dane Myers, Will Benson, Nate Lowe. They keep playing every single day.
Tyler Stevenson, again, is fine, like in terms of like the catcher pantheon. Like, it's not.
No, he's not.
Sal Stewart murdered that home run, 424 feet.
Get Sal Stewart, Ellie De La Cruz. Phenomenal. Like, everybody else is bad.
But I'm saying by the end of the season, Tyler Stevenson will have a 105 WRC plus.
Will he?
I think so. He usually gets around there.
I think you're thinking of a different Spencer Stevenson. I don't know.
Tyler Stevenson, not Spencer Stevenson.
Where I call him Spencer for? Where did that come from?
His career is actually 105.
Oh, okay. I don't know. Far this year's been bad. 2 years ago was great. If he plays,
yeah, that might be the issue too. This team, again, I think this team's totally fine. Like, to say I'm worried about a team would have to be like, expectations are worse than when we thought 3 weeks ago. Where
fair from that perspective.
I think
I'm worried from. I don't think they're a first place team.
What about the last place Brewers? Worried about them?
No, not even slightly. Brewers are gonna be completely fine. You look at, they've scored 106 runs and allowed 87 pitching. They're 12-9. The Reds have scored 78 and have allowed the same amount of runs, 86, and they're 14-8. That doesn't make any sense. Baseball's crazy sometimes.
Small samples are always fun to play around with. Because again, like, of all these other teams that we've talked about, it's like there were big expectations and now they look like something might be wrong. The rest of these teams, I'm like, good for you guys. Having fun.
And we will have a video about teams we're excited about because, my Pirates, baby. Look at my Pirates go. Love that team. Play some good ball.
Pirates look nice. Whole National League Central looks nice. Best division in baseball.
The best division in baseball. That's what I keep reading in the comment section. But I think that's it for teams I'm worried about, right? Anybody else that you want to briefly talk about?
I mean, no one sharply. I mean, I might have said so about the Cubs before this weekend when they ransacked the Mets.
Yeah, I mean, they're still doing the Cubs thing.
Yeah, they're fine. I mean, the rest of these teams, again, like, I think there'll be other teams that are like, oh, yeah, now these teams are better than we thought. I'm excited to talk about them.
Yeah, a lot of middle in baseball. As you guys know from our rankings, we love putting people in the middle of them. Let us know in the comment section down below what teams you're worried about. Anybody that we missed, drop a like on the video if you enjoy it. Subscribe to the Windup if you want to see more of the content. You can follow James on social media at
James Shiano.
I'm Draft Nick Mark. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you for watching. We'll catch you on the next one. Peace out.